Good afternoon, all. Welcome back to the Customer Experience Management Summit event 2017. We're back this afternoon with Roger Strain from LiquidCRM. Welcome, Roger. I'm going to hand the microphone over to you. What's your experience been like at the CEM 2017 this year?
No, it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. It's been an awesome event. Fantastic to have so many people from our industry. There's not too many places that we can collect and sort of compare war stories. So that's been cool. It's been fun. Yeah.
In terms of the extent to new technology and how new technology such as AI and virtual reality will take over from a perspective of creating experiences, as in creating experiences that are unique to drive individual drive and engagement with customers. What is the relevance of AI and virtual reality in the customer engagement?
Yeah, so it's such an interesting space. So much is changing, so much is moving all the time. And it's some very cool stuff. I mean, the space that I play in is in the CRM software space, right? And for years, we've been battling with the challenge of getting people to capture customer data. Salesmen hate it. Marketing people refuse to do it. Okay. Customer service people generally have to do it, so they'll make a good go. They're not particularly good at it, so they'll get it wrong. So I think what especially artificial intelligence brings us is probably closer to the era where we won't have to capture a damn thing. So literally in our CRM tools today, artificial intelligence means that the system is popping up and telling us things rather than us having to hunt around for them. So when I turn on my app today, it actually says, oh, this is a customer that you haven't spoken to in the last month that is important. And I'm going, oh, yeah, you got it right as well. You know, it really is. Or here's a deal that you haven't followed up on and you really should have. And it's popping through and telling me this. So, yeah, I mean, that is a shift that is so crucial in the customer engagement space. Rather than leaving it up to the human to really decide what's important with customers, really popping it up and making it easy for people. That's a huge shift. Huge, yeah.
Roger, you touched on your app. This is the LiquidCRM mobile application, I understand. Could you give us an indication of what the app is about, and one of the, or maybe a few of the key features that you think would be distinct in terms of, maybe over the last 6 months that you've introduced into the mobile app?
And so just to be clear, this is actually Microsoft's app. We're a Microsoft partner and we implement their CRM tools, which is Microsoft Dynamics 365. And the mobile app is full CRM enablement for mobile workers. Yeah. So I guess mobile CRM is not particularly new, but it's been very little used. And yeah, literally you go to the App Store and you'll be able to find the Microsoft app and start using it right away. And what that's going to do is, in my case, it empowers me to, I'm walking around at a conference for 2 days. We're meeting a hell of a lot of people. What's so important is that I build my database with those important contacts of mine, that I link up the necessary relationships. I'm not going to go and wait till I get back to the office to go and do that, because it's probably not going to happen. So literally, I'm just doing that on my phone as I go along. I'm scanning a business card that someone's just given me. It pops up automatically. It knows exactly who they are. It's filled in all their details. I simply click the accept. It's synchronizing out through to my Outlook contacts because I'm using the Microsoft ecosystem. And obviously, if there's prospective business for me, I'm capturing that as a lead straight away. Yeah. So, yeah, mobile is awesome.
Effectively closing the loop, so you don't have to retype anything. It's available to you instantaneously. You could even share that with your colleagues right there and then. That's fantastic, and I guess that's the leading question now in terms of following on, is the growth in technological abilities within organisations, as in organisations embracing technology. Are companies progressing with this digitization, which seems to be a common trend in terms of South Africa at the moment, and how important is digitization to keeping the human element alive within a customer engagement?
So it's interesting because I guess you'd think by having so much digitization, you'd think that the human element is stepping out of it, right? So people are researching things they want to buy online way before interacting with any human. And that's a preference, right? I mean, the way we'd rather buy things is by making sure that we get all our facts without having to deal with a salesperson. And that's certainly the case. I think there's probably two aspects to that, right? The one is at some point, a human is still required. Okay, even today, and I don't think this is going to change, the kind of last mile in the sales engagement is now interacting with a person to go, okay, I've researched all the products I want to look at, and I'm ready to now interact with you, and I'm going to engage with a person. So that human aspect is then critical, because if the sales stage, if 100% or if 80% of it is now happening online and the last 20% is happening through a person, that crucial 20% is vital, and the human interaction of that. So you're getting less opportunity to bring the human aspect into it, and you need to capitalize on that. That's critical, right? The other thing is that even that 80% that is happening digitally, there needs to be a very human aspect to that. We're still people. We still buy from people. So probably digitization that is very human-like in its approach is going to be more successful. So video, right? People are doing a lot of their research on channels like YouTube now, because I'd much rather see a human talking about something on a video than reading text off a page or interacting with some bot So I think there's those two aspects. One is the human nature of that digitization, making it very neurocentric, very people-oriented. And then the other is the typical crucial piece that is right at the end, that is still got to be human, and you've got that limited opportunity to really bring the human aspect to it. Yeah.
So human element is still a key component in terms of the sales cycle, moving forwards. Absolutely. Typically, organizations have grown over the years, and what we've become accustomed to is an industry term called silos within various organizations. How do you think, or what is your opinion in terms of silo structures within an organization, and how do they relate to the enabling of customer centricity?
Yeah, so I kind of feel like we have the badge on this one. And the reason is, for the last 13 years, we've been implementing our software mainly in large insurance companies. So the biggest ones in South Africa pretty much are all clients of ours. And they are siloed, right? And it's because of the nature of their business models. They are very federated businesses. They've accumulated them over time by putting together these disparate businesses that offer slightly different aspects of a picture. But what they share in common is the customer. And they've been really challenged in their businesses. And I say they've been challenged off the back of a lot of experience. It would be easy to go, well, just don't be siloed. In reality, it really is challenging having a large organization with a federated business model that does want to put a face to the customer in a singular way. So there's a business aspect to that, and there's a system and technology aspect to that, right? The business problem is always going to be difficult to solve. If you've got autonomy in a business and you say, you go out and forth and prosper, but treat my customer properly, That's really what that's about, is getting that dynamic right at a business level. And it's a very people-oriented thing. The technology part to that problem is probably the easier part to solve, and it's still not easy. Single version of customer is a nightmare in those kind of organizations. It really is challenging. If you've ever phoned your bank and dealt with the credit card division and then been told to go and deal with your checking account, you've got to go and phone a different number, and all the interaction you've just had is not known. It sounds like a common or a simple thing to solve, but actually for these organizations, it's really not easy to solve. And I think technology is definitely making it easier. If these businesses are federated and they are autonomous, they're not going to be using one system. So what you're automatically looking at is connecting different systems. Yeah. And the world of the cloud is making that easier. We've got little plugs that we can plug in cloud to cloud. That is increasingly becoming a reality. It's not extensive integration projects. So that's the one angle. And then the other angle is just there is more and more openness in the way in which software products are working. And that interconnectedness is flowing. So it's a brave new world where single version of the customer, even for these large federated organizations, is much more increasingly becoming a reality. Yeah.
It's good to hear that LiquidCRM are part and parcel of that process with your large customer base, specifically in the finance sector. In terms of finding out how organizations are anticipating what the modern, complicated customer deems valuable in order for the brand to optimize experiences, I mean, what is the key component in terms of, anticipating what the next step of engagement is going to be with the vast difference in terms of customers out there? What would the next approach be in anticipating the next engagement?
Yeah, so I've had some pretty cool experiences in this space, I must say, both with clients and also I've got a business. We've got clients. We try and be client-centric, so I've got experiences there too. Customer journey mapping is one thing that I would point to here. So this is something we've experienced in our business. We've worked with clients on this stuff as well. And I don't know if this is something you've ever experienced, but we had an experience where we got our whole team together. We put up a huge board, okay, and we imagined the journey of the customer through our business. We put up little pictures. We really try to immerse ourselves in the shoes of the customer in it. And if you imagine my team, we're a software company. We've got a bunch of propeller heads, some of them real tech nerds. They're kind of sitting there and they're going, oh my word, what are we doing here? How does this apply to me? And we did this whole thing over a couple of days. And one of the sort of key aha moments for me was right at the end, one of these developers kind of goes, okay, so Roger, I get it. What you're saying is, if we've got a client and they're circulating a requirement document, and I know, even though I'm just the developer and I'm looking at this document, I can see that there's kind of holes in it, that they haven't thought through everything. I should probably raise my hand and question it, even if I'm just the developer, because it's going to result in a better customer experience ultimately. And I was like, yeah, awesome. So I think the customer journey mapping is an awesome way to rattle out ideas for experiences and how to craft them in your business. I think the other aspect to that is the participativeness of that journey mapping in your organization, right? So this is not the job of the customer experience department or the marketing department. This is really something that the business has customers. You are the business. You're all responsible for crafting that customer experience. Every single one of you. Ultimately, you wouldn't be there if it wasn't for the customer, so that is by definition true. You could be in IT and you still have an effect on the customer's experience in your organization. So the participantness and the journey mapping, and then kind of making that very experiential. Ultimately, we're all customers. We all know what customers are looking for. It's not that hard to imagine what you need to do as a business to craft the right experience. Yeah.
That brings it to conclusion, really. Customers are very demanding, like we are the customers too. And if we can reflect on how demanding we are, we should be able to ramp up to what our customers demand from us. Yeah. I'm going to pass you the mic in terms of closure, and give you the last word in terms of all things CEM 2017.
No, great. Thank you very much for the opportunity, and it's been fun. I think, it's just awesome that there is such a thing as a customer experience event. I think it's awesome that more and more people are realizing the need for the focus on the customer and the customer's experience. And it's awesome that there is a forum like this to be able to support all of us that have this passion to kind of bolster the cause. Yeah, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your time, and we look forward to seeing you again next year, and catching up with you in terms of the progress that LiquidCRM are going to be making in the next 12 months. It's Roger Strain from LiquidCRM. We'll be back with another follow-up interview here live from the Customer Experience Management Summit 2017, live from Cape Town.